Let's talk a bit about pricing and why shirts cost the way they do. So if you've noticed, most t-shirts in the world are generally around like $20 to $40, right? $30 being sort of the sweet spot for t-shirts. And you ever wonder why that is? If you break down all of the different elements that I just went through for how a shirt gets made, they're generally all within the same realm and the same universe. So like I said, each screen that you make, each silk screen, which represents each color of your shirt, is about $100 a screen. Those are setup charges, meaning you only have to do that one time. So you make one set of screens, and after you go through that order and you keep reordering, you don't have to keep paying the $100 setup charge. They keep those screens for you. The next thing is for each placement that a shirt is printed. So if you have one piece on the sleeve, one thing on the front, one thing on the back, the silk screener generally charges around 50 cents to $1 per hit, as it's called. And the hit price depends on how big the screen is. So obviously if you're doing a full back print, that might be $1. If you're doing a tiny little logo on the sleeve, that might be a quarter. If you're doing a chest hit, that might be 50 cents. So each placement, you're looking at somewhere between 25 cents and $1. The actual blank shirt that you're buying, so assuming you're not doing a cut and sew shirt, you're going to a place to buy a blank t-shirt, that's generally in the range of $5. So now between the screen and each print hit that you're doing and the cost of the shirt, you're looking at a total package of around $7 to $10 to make your shirt. That's how much you have to pay the silk screener, the factory, the printer to get one shirt made, about $7 to $10. That's your cost. In the industry term, that's called cost of goods sold, COGS, cost of goods sold, or COGS. So now let's say you want to sell that shirt to a store, right? So you're going to wholesale it to a retail store. That store is going to buy it from you for double the price usually, or a little bit more hopefully. So if it costs you $7 to make a shirt, you can sell to the store for around $14 to $15. And that's called the wholesale price. That way you make your money and the store can still take that amount that they've paid, $14, $15, and double it again to be about $30, $32, and that's the retail price, or MSRP, manufacturer's suggested retail price. So those are the three stages that I just went through. Cost of goods sold, that's the amount of money that you pay to get a shirt made. Wholesale, that's the amount that the store pays you to have the shirt sold in their store. And then MSRP or retail, that's the price that the customer pays the store for your shirt. So you could see those three different breakdowns. So 7 to 15 to 30, and that's why most shirts in the world cost around $30. Now, why do some shirts cost $19.99 and even cheaper? Because they're making thousands, tens of thousands, if not millions of shirts, so they're able to drive the price down dramatically. Conversely, why are some shirts $80, $100, $200? Well, when you start getting into the way the print's made, the fabrication of the shirt, these things drive the price up. So if some designer is using, Egyptian cotton, 400 count, lambskin, child fetus, like fabric, then it's going to drive up the cost, and that's why some of those things are more and more expensive. Also, limited editions get more and more expensive too. So if you're doing a shirt run and there's only 20 shirts made, because it's only a 20-piece run, the factory's going to charge that designer more for that shirt to be made, and he's going to pass on those expenses to the consumer, of course. So that's why there's that huge price variation. What should your shirt cost? What should you price your t-shirts at? Well, the one big question that is often asked is, who do you want to hang with, right? And they're not asking about your friends in high school. They're talking about, who do you want to hang with on a hanger? So what store do you envision your shirts in? What is your dream store, right? So you go into that dream store, what brands does that dream store already carry? What's hanging up in that dream store? And if you want your shirt to be hanging in there, you kind of have to be the same price as that shirt. You can't be much lower or much higher. If you're much lower or much higher, that dream store of yours won't carry your brand. So that answering that question of who do you want to hang with will help determine how much you should be charging for your shirts. I actually like to work backwards from how much you should charge for your shirts to determine where you should make your products, what kind of cotton you should use, what kind of printing you should use. So it just gives you a reference point of where you can start, If you want to hang in a mall store and have a $30 t-shirt, you probably shouldn't start making t-shirts in Italy, because then you're going to be making $200 t-shirts. But if you want to be in high-end department stores, boutiques that are super high-end, then sky's the limit. You can maybe make your shirts anywhere in the world that you want, but your quality has to match as well. So you can't go into the middle of China and find the cheapest factory around to make your stuff and try to gouge them. You probably have to find some great artisan shirt makers in order to make your t-shirts. So that's a bit of an idea of how pricing works. I actually taught another Skillshare class that goes really deep into sales and costing, and I give you spreadsheets and all these algorithms in terms of how to price your stuff out. So definitely take that class if you haven't done it in terms of learning about pricing. I just wanted to give you an overarching view of how most t-shirts are priced here.